What are the top blunders that people encounter when they try to create their own TV digital newscast for YouTube and other websites? Well, for starters, doing what I did right there. Do you see how canned I sound? Do you see how flat, boring, and monotone that was? Now, I wasn't actually reading, but that's what people do when they try to read a script. Their head freezes. Their voice becomes monotone. Huge, huge blunder. People will hit delete within 2 seconds if they see that. Now, Americans, and increasingly people all over the world, aren't necessarily good at exercising every day, doing complicated math problems every day. But if it's one thing Americans are good at in particular, it's watching TV and watching video. And they know bad stuff when they see it. So if your head is frozen and you sound like a robot and you sound like you are reading something or memorizing something, people have an instant revulsion to it. So one of the big blunders is trying to read. Now, when you see some top-rated news anchor reading a newscast, when you see Brian Williams, Diane Sawyer reading a newscast, they make it seem natural, smooth, polished. Well, guess what? They've been doing it for 5 hours a day for 40 years. That's why they're good at it. I really don't think you want to have to read a teleprompter 5 hours a day for 40 years. Don't try to do it. I do not recommend that you try to use a teleprompter. Now, some people will tape up their notes around the room. Well, yes, our next quarter, we are very happy to see that we are going to see a 3% increase in new... Ugh! Here's the thing. People say, well, TJ, I don't have a great memory. I've got to post up all the facts there or I'm going to forget it. What I would recommend is just narrow your focus to a handful of points. If you need to have notes on a single sheet of paper with really big bullet points, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with occasionally glancing down and continuing. But creating a video and just talking to people for a long time, giving them lots and lots and lots of facts, is not really the best way to communicate a lot of facts. If you can't remember the facts and you're the expert on it, how do you think someone just listening to you is going to get it? One of the big blunders is going too long in videos. I wouldn't try to post 30-minute, 40-minute videos. On average, and this is one of the good things about YouTube, they give you great analytics. On average, I know people watch my videos 1 minute and 21 seconds. Now, I do go longer than that, but I do try to keep my typical news videos less than 2 minutes. Sometimes they go 3 minutes. But I'm able to do it in part by focusing on just one topic and just trying to convey a handful of points. You can't try to convey multiple topics, multiple points on each topic in one video and expect people to stay with you. So that's one of the common blunders to avoid, is going too long. Now, in this how-to series I'm doing, I'm trying to keep the videos 4 or 5 minutes. I think one of them is 8 minutes. I mean, the other rule of thumb I would say is don't waste too much time writing and rewriting and editing and narrowing it down just to have an arbitrary length of 90 seconds or 2 minutes. Speak as long as you need to cover one topic and not a second longer, but also not a second shorter. If people find your information useful and helpful, they'll listen. One of the videos I've had that had the highest audience in the tens of thousands in the last year was a simple talking head video of me for half an hour. So if it's important information and you find it important to you and you think your audience will find it important, it's okay to go a little bit longer. The biggest blunder you really have to avoid is this trap of perfectionism. And this happens in two main ways. Number one, people want to be perfect, and in their mind that means writing out the script and then reading it or memorizing it. The hardest thing you'll ever do is read a script, if you want to do it in a way where you don't put everybody to sleep. The second hardest thing you'll ever do is try to memorize a script and then talk it out, because you're going to sound fake, phony, contrived, unless you are a trained Broadway actor and you've been on Broadway every night for the last 3 years. then it becomes comparatively easy, but not doing a new one every day. So I would beg you, do not try to memorize a script. Do not try to read a teleprompter. Instead, have a handful of notes. You can have it on your computer screen or on a simple sheet of paper, and you will do much, much better. The other biggest blunder people make is procrastination. It somehow seems easier to just type a memo, type a blog post, type an op-ed page. Oh, once I get more comfortable, I'll do the video. Oh, I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow, then I'll do the video. Oh, I'm going to lose a few pounds, then I'll do the video. All excuses that just cause unnecessary delays. Just do video every day. Now, people say, TJ, you're so good at this. I have no natural gifts for this above you. Now, I'm comfortable doing this in part because I've produced 7,500 videos. Anything you do frequently becomes easier. You just become more comfortable. Now, the other area of perfectionism that causes people trouble is they'll watch the video and they'll say, oh, I hated the way I said here, or Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with the occasional and 3 people I know who say and more than anyone: David Letterman, Martha Stewart, Bill O'Reilly. What do they all have in common? They all make about $30 million a year talking all day long, and they all say and all the time. So don't worry about the occasional and And if you do a whole video and you have great, great content, but then you realize, wow, there's a little wrinkle right here, forget about it. Now, you want to have a professional appearance, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Avoid the trap of the perfection. Like that. I didn't say perfection right. Keep on going.